Hi everyone, Martin here. Welcome along to this review. If you watch my reviews in order, you might remember that we did a little test with this new camera and sound and lighting and that sort of stuff, and I think I've got it pretty much nailed now. It turns out that the internal microphone on the camera is the best one, I believe. So yeah, hopefully your experience and the sound will be okay. Right, now this is a review for Simple Vape. Simple Vape's 4 new e-liquids. Now, Simple Vape are a London-based company. I reviewed their first 4 e-liquids. They came out, and I have to say they were stunning. A few people had an issue with the price of £9 for 10ml until they tried them. And there's a lot of Simple Vape fans out there now. Obviously, the bigger quantity you buy, the more affordable they become. 30ml of the new flavours is £19, and I think that's quite acceptable. Also, Simple Vape have been expanding massively. They've just been over to the ECC in California where they were exhibiting, and it's really nice to see that the UK e-liquid manufacturers are getting into America and getting a presence there as well, so well done to them. They also do like accessories. They sent me some drip tips, and they sent me some of their cotton as well. They also very kindly sent me this fantastic vape mat, which I'm going to be using for reviews in the future as well. But I want to try and cut the waffle down. This is all about Simple Vape, and if you didn't see the first video, I just want to read you a couple of things very quickly. They were born from a desire to remove clutter and confusion from an over-branded marketplace and replace it with style and substance, complemented by a quality product and a lifestyle choice. Their product line was developed over many months with the help of expert tobacconists and taste professionals, with a strong focus on creating nostalgia through both taste and smell. Our flavours carry a hint of days gone by, giving a customer's experience found nowhere else. And obviously they have a design studio in East London. They're charged with providing the vaping world with a lifestyle brand. Sleek packaging, I love the packaging. Contemporary graphics create a style-conscious, what a style-conscious customer both wants and enjoys. They have a high-tech ISO 9001 pharma grade lab, and it goes on, made in Britain, ethical approach. Have a look on their website, because I really do have a lot of respect and loyalty to the guys at Simple Vape. However, their e-liquids are not all for me. Believe it or not, my favourite from their brand so far, the first 4, was one called French Tobacco. Didn't taste of tobacco at all to me. It tasted like coffee, and 1 or 2 people that I've got to try it reckon it's one of the best flavours they've ever tried. This is all about the 4 new flavours, and at 3 minutes into the video and we still haven't looked at any e-liquids, so I apologise, but I do believe that branding is really, really important these days as well. It's not just a case of what's the cheapest e-liquid, what does it taste like. It's become like shopping for clothes. It's an experience, okay? So when you shop with Simple Vape, it is an experience from start to finish, and we're going to try some of the finished experience right now. Okay, their packaging is really, really good. They come in these little cardboard tubes. They're all sort of labelled up. They've got very minimalistic black and white packaging. When we open up the tube, inside we find a nicely tissue wrapped bottle and a lid, and yes, and a lid. So when we open up the packaging, it's just nice and simply packaged as normal, but we'll rip that open like it's Christmas morning, and inside there we'll find our e-liquid, and there it is. So this one I'm going to be looking at is called Strawberries and Cream. Now I've got to get used to the focus on this. Strawberries and Cream. I've got it in 3mg. I've got 30ml bottles. Always good to give it a shake before you start, get some air in there. Obviously there's a dripper in there, but there is that separate cap provided as well. So let's get to tasting some e-liquid, shall we? There's little that can top those long summer afternoons spent in the garden grazing on strawberries and Devonshire cream. Washing them down with a glass of bubbles. Recreating this tea time treat was a must, producing a raft of flavour which burst into life as soon as it leaves your tank. This juice gives you an experience akin to sinking your teeth into a fresh, sweet strawberry before the cream kicks in, producing a rich dessert aftertaste, which will leave you wanting more. They do it in 30ml bottles. I presume 10ml are available, but looking at the website, no, hang on a minute. If I remember rightly, they have a different page for, yes, they have a different page. It is still 9ml for the £9 for the 10ml. They have a different sort of link for each size. So I'm looking at the 30mls, available in 0, 3, 6, 12 and 18. It's a 60 PG, 40 VG mix this, so it's slightly higher in the PG. And we're going to see what it tastes like. So I'm using the Sigeli 100 watt. I've got the Vulcan on top with about a 0.5 ohm coil, dual coil, and lots of cotton on there. So we're going to try strawberries and cream for the very first time. I'm sorry it took 6 minutes to get to tasting the e-liquid, but if you enjoy my reviews, I will put the time codes on there so you can jump past all the info. But I think the info is really, really important. You can't just go, oh yeah, you need to know a little bit of a background about it. So, okay, a fresh, natural flavouring, a natural strawberry flavour or aroma. Yeah, that smells absolutely stunning. Okay, so in the rest of the video, I won't bore you by watching me or looking at the top of my head as I drip liquid onto the coils, but just wanted to do that experience once off in this video. And we're ready to try some strawberries and cream. Okay, here we go. Turning it on always helps. Fresh batteries, forget to turn it on. And we're vaping at, 0.5 ohm, 4.3 volts, 35 watts. Beautiful. Now, I can taste the throat hit with the extra PG that's in there for me. Normally I'm vaping at 50-50, 60-40, 70-30, 80-20 VG, but this is a 60 PG, 40 VG. So if you're a 6ml, 8ml, 12ml, you might want to step down a strength of nicotine because, well, depending on what you vape, you might be vaping higher PG already, but I can feel that PG tickle. But my word, the juice is just stunning. They've actually got the description bang on. It smells of strawberries, it tastes of strawberries on the inhale, but there's this beautiful creamy aftertaste. And I would go as far as saying that's probably one of the best strawberries and cream I've ever tasted. Really stunning. My lungs just have to get used to that little extra bit of PG, as you can tell, in there to start with. But once they do, oh my word. Fabulous aftertaste. Tremendous strawberry flavour. I can smell it in the room. I can taste it, but I can also taste the sweetness of the cream as well. It's just a great experience from opening the bottle to vaping it. Like I say, for me, jumping to 60 PG, that's giving me throat hit on a dripper that I'm not quite used to these days. But that's no issue. Also, these are going to work fine in all of your tanks. And I'm sure that the sub-ohm tank experience will be different. I've got some sub-ohm tanks to review coming up, and I'm going to use 1 or 2 of these liquids in there. We'll have one more vape on strawberries and cream, and I will move on. I'm so sorry. This isn't all about blowing clouds. Simple Vape aren't all about cloud chasing. They're about producing a quality premium e-liquid that stands head and shoulders above many others that are out there. And depending on your flavour profile, you'll find one in the Simple Vape range that is for you, and they are very diverse. I've got some extremely unusual ones to try. One more vape. Strawberries and cream from Simple Vape, without a doubt, something that I would vape every single day. I'd have to get used to the extra PG for me, but then we're all different. But the flavour, just, it does, it leaves you wanting more. You just think, okay, I don't want this to finish. That is an amazing experience, but it has to finish. And we're going to move on to the next one, which is another one I'm looking forward to trying, something from my youth. It's going to be called Dandelion Burdock. I'll see you when we're ready to do that. I had to carry on vaping that strawberries and cream for a little while. It was just such a brilliant experience. Actually, if you've got this far in the video, it's a good opportunity for me to tell you that when you go to Simple Vape's website, excuse me, itchy nose, you can sign up to their newsletter, their email newsletter, and receive a 20% discount just for doing that. So when you look at £19 for 30ml, you can take wow, quite a bit actually. 20% would be £3.80 off that. 190, yeah, £3.80. So actually you can get your first 30ml of Simple Vape's e-liquids down to what, £14.20, something like that. So that's actually really good value. So check out their website and sign up for that newsletter if you want to try one of these liquids. Now I've gone on ahead and loaded up with Dandelion and Burdock, but I just wanted to tell you that this has just the iconic smell of Dandelion and Burdock. Reminds me of a child, not fizzy Dandelion and Burdock, sort of almost as if it was a fruit concentrate that you're going to add liquid to. And we're going to go ahead and get it vaped straight away. So Dandelion and Burdock, the very mention of Dandelion and Burdock will transport many back to a carefree youth ransacking grandma's pantry. A distinctive and unique aroma and taste makes this the flavour instantly recognisable as a very British root beer. Created by combining an infusion of black treacle, lemon juice, beer yeast and the signature ingredients of Dandelion on Burdock, the juice gives a fantastic cooling initial draw with a mature and growing middle and fruit twist finished, accompanied by a large hit of nostalgia to go with it. And this comes in one of their black bottles. Remember, they have this very black and white ethos. The strawberries and cream were in a white, and the Dandelion Burdock is in black, but it's quite a clear liquid. Here we go. Oh yeah. Dandelion and Burdock for me is a little bit licoricey, and the flavour I get here is a little bit licoricey. I have to say, I don't feel any like cooling, menthol type cooling flavour, and the inhale. The aftertaste is stunning. It is like, it's Dandelion and Burdock. Also, my lungs are getting a little bit more used to the PG now on the second of these juices, so it's easier for me to take a big decent inhale as well. If you're watching in the US and you have no idea what Dandelion and Burdock is, it really is a popular drink, certainly from my youth. Maybe not quite so much these days, but it has a sort of a licoricey taste to it, and it really is a special flavour. Really super flavour, really clean, leaving you with a fantastic aftertaste of licoricey, Dandelion and Burdock. I think you have to know the flavour, and if you've tried e-liquids that purport to taste like Dandelion and Burdock, you need to try this one because it's the most authentic there is, I think. Oh yeah. I'm not sure if I could vape it all day, because it's not a flavour that I would say is something that I don't know actually. The aftertaste is so good. I think it would be a dripping one for me, whereas the strawberries and cream would definitely go into a tank. But that's Dandelion and Burdock. We're going to move on to a couple now that I'm not 100% sure about yet. The first one's going to be called Rose. Right, before we try Rose and the final one, which is London Gin, one point to make here. In a recent vlog, I said that I was continuing juice reviews, but I'd only review e-liquids that were in mine and many of your flavour profile, except for brands that I'd done reviews for before that I feel a loyalty to, and I'll always be willing to try their new flavours, even if they're tobacco or menthol. That's why I'm doing the next two. I wouldn't pick these whatsoever based on their names and their flavour profiles, but we're going to try them. So, Rose, finding influence from the British Empire with the addition of the aromatic spice cardamom and its southern Indian roots alongside vanilla and English rose to muster a unique flavouring which serves wonderfully as a distinctive vape. The vanilla is sweet yet subtle enough so as not to overbear the delicate rose and cardamom, and the cardamom provides the perfect balance. The initial draw is sweet with a focus on the vanilla, whereas the exhale quickly becomes the distinctive spice of the cardamom and tenderness of the rose. This one's in a black bottle. It smells very perfumey. Rose water, it smells like those sort of perfumes that you give your nan for Christmas. Sorry, Christian. Perfumey. Now, I've got it in here. Let's see what it actually tastes like. It's very different. On the inhale, it is very sweet. On the exhale, it sort of starts off sweet, but it calms down on the exhale. This is a really difficult one because it's not a flavour that I enjoy, but I don't want to do it a disservice by going, oh, I don't like it, because many people will. It is very, very different to anything you will have tried before. It is quite sweet. There is quite an unusual aftertaste, and the smell is... This is one of the ones I'd say either go and see them at a show and try one of these, or get a 10ml bottle, use your 20% discount with your newsletter sign up and try this one. It's one of those review and nightmare e-liquids where it doesn't taste of anything that we normally taste on a daily basis. When I do some reviews, you know, I can say, oh yeah, that tastes like X, Y and Z from when I was a kid, those type of things. This doesn't. There isn't anything that we eat, or I've certainly eat, that tastes anything like this. I've got to do it a slight disservice and say when you first smell it, you think it smells like potpourri. And I suppose that's the rose that's in there that does. Vaping it is slightly different. You're left with quite a rich vanilla-y aftertaste, but I don't know if I could handle the rose all the time. Let's have another go. Well, I can only apologise. I looked up and it said camera stopped recording automatically. I have no idea why. But I think we'd wrap that one up anyway. It's very different. While I've been trying to work out why the camera had stopped recording, the taste has developed in the mouth. And do you know what? It's not horrible. Okay, it's just very, very different. I don't think there's anything like this out there at all. So it's one of those things you've got to decide whether you want to try this one. I can only say that it's not a flavour that I would pick out. It's very unusual, and when you try it, you'll have to draw your own conclusions on it. Remember, this is rose, okay? Very, very different indeed. Okay, we're going to leave that one there and move on to the next one, which is called London Gin. Right, London Gin. Clear bottle, this one. Nothing hits the spot after a long day quite like a refreshing G&T. A bittersweet taste with a palate cleansing effect and a dry aftertaste, this drink has become an English institution. To recreate the best London gin, and in addition to the traditional juniper infusion, we added English rose, sliced cucumber, squeezed lemon and a dash of mint to add further flavour. This eclectic mix of tastes perfectly replicates the sensation of the first G&T of the day. An early sweet bitters taste softens into a fuller and hydrating lemon before a cooling mint draws in at the finish. Right, I don't drink. I certainly wouldn't drink gin even if I did. It's not a taste that I like. So I sort of approach this one with a little bit of trepidation. When you actually smell this, it smells of lemon, gin, that dryness that you smell in a gin. So we've got it on. Let's give it a try. Oh, actually, that's pretty good. There's a mild cooling on the way in. I would never, ever, ever in a month of Sundays buy this e-liquid or pick this e-liquid to buy, and it just proves the value of doing these type of reviews, because that's really pleasant. It has a mild cooling sensation on the way in. To me, it doesn't taste like a gin and tonic, but I don't drink, so there we go. I have had gin and tonics in the past, but they're very sort of, well, dry. But this, no, not dry at all. I can pick out that very tiny bit of rose, because that was in the previous one as well. So I can still, I know that taste now. I think if I hadn't tried the rose and I didn't know there was rose in here, I'd struggle to pick that flavour. It certainly refreshes the palate. And it's certainly very different. Do you know what? That's not as bad as I expected. I really quite like that. It's a bit mentally, but obviously that's the coolingness in there. I've got itchy head today. A bit mentally, but that's the cooling in there. You can certainly taste a bit of the citrus, and it leaves the palate really nicely refreshed. To me, that tastes a lot better than it smells, or the expectation of what it should taste like is. That's actually quite a triumph. I like that. Yeah, that is so much better than I expected it to be. Oh, I'm really pleased about that one. Right, okay. Let's put this in some sort of order. Strawberries and cream is brilliant. I really like that. Dandelion and Burdock. That's really nice. It's quite an acquired taste. If you don't know what Dandelion and Burdock tastes like, don't go ahead and buy 30ml until you've tried it, I would say. Licoricey is the aftertaste, I would describe that as. Then we have to go for the London Gin. That is quite a revelation. Very nice indeed. But I'd have to pass on the rose, I'm afraid. That's certainly not a flavour that I could deal with. Far too aromatic and sweet and, well, rose. It's rose. If you know what rose water tastes like, you'll know the taste of that. However, let's just look at the range overall again one more time. Go and have a look at the other flavours that I reviewed in the past. They're very, very different. Simple Vape have got it right, in my opinion. They produce a very, very high quality e-liquid that maybe isn't for the masses. It's more for the discerning vapers who want to find something that's a little bit different. If you're used to buying £1 e-liquids and very high PG e-liquids, even these are 60 PGs, but if you're used to, you know, your Chinese import liquids or the cheaply mass-produced e-liquids, you may not like these. You might find them a little bit too exotic for you. But if you're somebody who's hunting around for flavour, all of the American juices that I've tried, or many of them, the flavours, the descriptions sound great, but the flavours are very, very muted. I think the UK e-liquid market is really pushing out some fantastic quality flavours at the moment, and Simple Vape are right up there amongst them. You have to understand that these guys are a brand as well as being great e-liquids, and you know, they're investing a lot of their time and money into growing their brand. As I said at the beginning of the video, they represented at the ECC in California. I know that there's one or two British brands that really want to get into the American market, and I know a lot of my USA viewers maybe want to try these because they are so different. I know Steve, you get a name check, you were waiting to hear my report back on the London Gin. Well, you've got to try it. You really have got to try it. It is not what you expect. It really isn't. For me, I'll be vaping up the strawberries and cream first, and the Dandelion Burdock, and the London Gin, believe it or not. I'll be dripping that one. The rose will have to be saved for that time when you want something just a little bit different. Please do check out Simple Vape. As I say, they've got 4 other flavours that you'll really enjoy as well. And it's been a journey, this one. I really didn't look forward to the London Gin, and that's been the surprise of them all, along with the really fabulous flavour of strawberries and cream. I hope you've managed to make it to the end. Thank you very much for watching. And the video just stopped again, so I now need to go and find out why the video's timing out. In the meantime, I look forward to seeing you in the next video.